Hey everyone, and welcome back to Podcasts for Artists. We're going to be talking about something that I know a lot of you have been curious about, and that is YouTube for artists, specifically starting a channel dedicated to your art.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can be a really powerful tool, but there's a lot to unpack there. We're going to be talking about the potential upsides, how it can actually help you sell your art, and what a smart strategy for YouTube looks like.
Right, because just kind of going in head first can feel really overwhelming. I know a lot of artists wonder if YouTube is even worth the effort. Is it just a bunch of cat videos and makeup
Yeah.
tutorials? Or can it actually make a difference for artists
Mm,
trying to get their work seen and
yeah.
maybe even sell some of it?
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss YouTube as just kind of a place for entertainment.
Yeah.
But I think when you consider there are over 2 billion people logging in every month, it starts to look a lot different. That's a potential audience that most galleries, even the big ones, can't even dream of reaching.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it really puts things in perspective. And it's not just about reaching a huge audience, right? YouTube offers a way to connect with people on a much deeper level, I think.
Exactly. Take, for example, James Gurney. He's a well-known artist who creates these incredible dinosaur paintings. And he's built a massive following on YouTube by sharing tutorials and plein air painting sessions. So people don't just see the finished artwork, they actually get to see how it's made, which I think creates a whole new level of appreciation and connection.
Yeah, it's like giving people a front row seat to your creative process. Speaking of process, I was watching a video by Marcello Barenghi the other day. He's the artist who does those mind-blowing, hyper-realistic drawings. And just seeing his process in time lapse is almost hypnotic. It's something you just can't experience from a static image.
Right. It's fascinating how video can add another dimension to art. It allows you to pull back the curtain and let viewers into your studio, your mindset, your techniques. It makes the art feel more accessible and relatable. And I think that can be really powerful.
Yeah, and that feeling of connection can lead to building a community. YouTube gives artists a way to interact with viewers, answer questions, have conversations that just aren't possible in a traditional gallery setting.
Absolutely. You can engage with your audience through comments, live chats. You can even do Q&A sessions. It's a way to turn
Right.
casual viewers into dedicated fans who feel like they're part of your creative journey.
Right, and fans are the people who are most likely to buy your art.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also a strong branding element to having a YouTube channel. It allows you to control how people see your art and your style. Think about somebody like Mary Doodles, for example. She's built a whole brand around, those adorable doodle characters that she creates. And her YouTube channel is a big part of that.
You make a great point about branding. It's about more than just showcasing your art. It's about showcasing your personality, your values, your unique approach. And YouTube gives you a platform to really shape your narrative and connect with people who resonate with your style and your message. But here's something I find really interesting, even if you don't aspire to be. The next big YouTube art star. There's still a lot of benefits to having a channel.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I think a lot of artists might feel intimidated by the idea of creating videos. So it's good to hear that there's value beyond just trying to go viral or become an influencer. What are some of those less obvious benefits?
Well, for one thing, think about the knowledge that you have as an artist. By sharing tutorials and tips, you're not only helping other artists, but you're also positioning yourself as an expert in your field.
So it can boost your credibility and authority, even outside of the YouTube world.
Precisely. And while you might not make a ton of money directly from YouTube, its connections that you build online can often lead to opportunities offline.
Like getting invited to teach workshops, being featured in galleries, collaborating with other artists.
Exactly. The possibilities are kind of endless.
This is already making me rethink my whole approach to YouTube. But I know a lot of artists are also curious about the money-making potential. Can you really make a living from an art YouTube channel?
I mean, it's definitely possible to earn a living from an art YouTube channel, but it's not a guarantee by any means. There are a lot of factors that come into play, like the size and engagement of your audience, the types of content that you create, and how you choose to monetize your channel.
Right. So I think that's an important point. It's not just about, throwing some videos up and hoping for the best. There's a real strategy involved.
Absolutely. You need to approach it like any other business venture. You need to understand your target audience, create high-quality content that resonates with them, and market your channel effectively.
So let's talk about strategy for a bit. Where do artists even begin when it comes to developing a YouTube strategy?
Well, a good starting point is to think about your goals. What do you want to achieve with your YouTube channel? Do you want to primarily focus on selling your art? Or are you more interested in building a community and sharing your knowledge? Your goals will inform your content strategy and how you approach monetization.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's say an artist's primary goal is to sell their artwork through YouTube. How can they actually make that happen?
Well, one of the most effective ways to sell art through YouTube is to showcase your finished pieces in a really compelling way. This means investing in good lighting and a decent camera so that your artwork looks its best on screen.
Yeah, I guess grainy videos with bad lighting wouldn't exactly inspire confidence in potential buyers.
Exactly. You want to capture the colors and textures accurately so that viewers can appreciate the true beauty of your work. But it's not just about showcasing the art itself. It's about creating a story around it.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, think about what makes your art unique. What inspired you to create it? What emotions or ideas are you trying to convey? Share those insights with your viewers. Give them a glimpse into your creative process and help them connect with the meaning behind your work.
So it's almost like turning your YouTube channel into a virtual art gallery, but with the added bonus of being able to provide context and share the stories behind each piece.
That's a great analogy. And just like in a physical gallery, you want to create an experience that's both visually appealing and informative. Use high-quality images and videos. Write engaging descriptions. And don't be afraid to add a personal touch.
Yeah, I love that idea of bringing a personal touch to your YouTube channel. It goes back to that whole concept of building a community and connecting with your audience on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And when people feel like they know you and they understand your work, they're much more likely to become loyal customers. But here's another tip for artists who are looking to sell their work through YouTube. Don't just focus on showcasing finished pieces. Think about creating videos that highlight your process.
Oh, process videos. Those are always so fascinating to watch. I love seeing how different artists approach their work from the initial sketch to the final touches.
Exactly. Process videos can be incredibly engaging, and they offer a behind-the-scenes look at your creative journey. You can create time lapses, studio tours, or even just talk through your technique as you're working.
I bet those types of videos
Yeah,
can be really helpful for aspiring artists as well. It's like getting a free art lesson.
definitely. And sharing your knowledge and expertise is another way to build credibility and trust with your audience. It shows that you're not just trying to sell them something, you're genuinely passionate about art, and you want to help others learn and grow. Plus, when people see the effort and skill that goes into creating your artwork, they're more likely to appreciate its value and be willing to pay for it.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's be real. Sometimes people need a little extra push to make a purchase. What are some strategies that artists can use to turn those interested viewers into actual buyers?
Well, one effective tactic is to leverage the power of testimonials.
Oh, testimonials. Those can be so persuasive, especially when they come from genuine happy customers.
Exactly. If you have clients who are thrilled with their purchases, ask them if they'd be willing to share their experience on camera. A short video clip of someone raving about your art can be incredibly impactful.
Yeah, it's like social proof, right? It shows potential buyers that other people love your work and that they can trust you to deliver a high-quality product.
Exactly. And don't forget about calls to action. At the end of your videos, let people know where they can buy your art. Include links to your website, your online shop, or your social media profiles in the video description. Make it easy for them to take the next step.
So it's about guiding people through that entire journey, from discovering your art to actually making a purchase.
Precisely. And remember, building a successful YouTube channel takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. Be patient. Stay consistent with your content. And keep experimenting to find what works best for you and your audience.
But the big question remains, is it all worth it? I mean, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We've talked about the potential benefits, the strategies for success, even how to use YouTube to sell your art directly. But at the end of the day, is starting a YouTube channel really worth the time and effort for artists?
Yeah, I think that's a question only you can answer, really. It all comes down to your personal goals and priorities. You know, for some artists, the idea of putting themselves out there on video might feel intimidating or just not align with their vision at all. And that's totally fine. YouTube isn't for everyone.
Right. It's not a magic bullet for instant success, like we've discussed.
Yeah.
It takes work, it takes dedication, and it takes strategy. But for artists who are excited about sharing their work with a wider audience, building a community, and exploring new creative avenues, YouTube can be an incredibly rewarding experience.
Exactly. And I think it's about finding what works best for you and your art. If you're passionate about connecting with people, teaching, or just sharing your creative journey, then the effort that you put into YouTube might feel less like work and more like an extension of your artistic process.
I love that perspective.
Hmm.
It's not just about racking up views or chasing algorithms. It's about finding a new way to express yourself and engage with the world. And who knows, maybe you'll even discover some hidden talents or passions along the way.
Yeah, you never know what doors might open when you put yourself out there creatively. One thing I find really inspiring is seeing how artists use YouTube to not only showcase their work, but also to advocate for causes they believe in, to connect with other artists, and to really build a sense of community around their art.
It's amazing how YouTube can be a platform for so much more than just entertainment. It can be a tool for social change, for education, for inspiration, even for personal growth. I think that's what makes it so compelling, especially for artists who are often looking for new ways to connect with their audience and make a difference in the world.
Absolutely. And even if you don't end up selling a ton of art directly through YouTube, the skills that you learn and the connections that you make can be invaluable. You might discover a knack for video editing, you might find new collaborators or mentors, or you might even land opportunities that you never would have imagined otherwise.
Yeah, it's all about embracing the journey and being open to possibilities. But let's be practical for a moment. For those artists who are on the fence, what would you say are the biggest pros and cons of starting a YouTube channel?
Well, on the pro side, you have the potential to reach a massive audience, build a loyal following, and even earn money from your art. You also gain a platform to share your knowledge, connect with other artists, and control how you present yourself and your work to the world.
Those are some pretty compelling pros. What about the cons? I know we've touched on the fact that it takes time and effort,
Yeah.
but are there any other downsides to consider?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest con is probably the time commitment. Creating high-quality videos takes time and effort, and it can be challenging to stay consistent with uploads, especially if you're juggling other responsibilities like creating art, marketing, and selling.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not something you can just do half-heartedly if you want to see real results. And I imagine there's also a learning curve involved, especially if you're not already familiar with video editing and all the technical aspects of YouTube.
Definitely. There's a lot to learn, but luckily there are tons of resources available online to help you get started. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
And there's an article on marketyourart.net that covers this topic in detail.
Yes. It's called Starting an Art YouTube Channel, and it covers everything from choosing the right equipment to optimizing your videos for search. It's a great resource for anyone who's serious about starting a channel.
Perfect. We'll be sure to include a link to that article in the description below. So to wrap things up, it sounds like YouTube can be a really powerful tool for artists, but it's not a decision to make lightly.
Exactly. It requires careful consideration, a strategic approach, and a willingness to put in the work.
But for those who are ready to take the plunge, the rewards can be truly amazing. So if you're an artist who's been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, our advice is to do your research, plan carefully, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Yeah, and remember, be authentic, be creative, and don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your art.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us today. And we hope this episode has inspired you to explore the world of YouTube and discover the incredible possibilities it holds for artists. Until next time, keep creating.